Right, good morning. As you can see, that's coming together. The springs are all on, and now I'm onto the back axle. So to change the shoes, yeah, these are the shoes, right? There are no discs on this vehicle, right? 1942, right? So these shoes, the brakes, basically, this is this brake cylinder gets liquid through a pipe. It expands, yeah. This moves out like that, yeah. Being held by this very strong spring that pulls it back again together, right? But when the liquid comes in and pushes on this piston, yeah, it expands these shoes. These shoes have a pad on them, yeah, meat, and they create friction on the inside of this bell, right? Which is this, basically. Yeah. You see? And that's how the car basically stops, brakes, right? Stops its movement. Anyhow, you need to change these every now and then. Now, to change the shoes on this vehicle, right, you need to take the half shaft out, which is really weird, but 1942, right? The half shaft is half shaft because you have one on this side and one on this side, yeah, coming onto the diff, which has a series of cogs and splines in it, and that makes the wheel turn, right? When you turn this power shaft, that makes this mechanism turn inside and distribute this turning into that half shaft and that one, right? And that's what makes the wheels turn. Now, what happened yesterday? We started removing this, right? We realized you can't take these housings off unless you remove the whole thing, right? So we just took that one off, started taking everything off because we've done it before many times, right? And suddenly when we're putting it back together, we're thinking, wait a minute, there's something missing here. To start with, the nuts that go onto this, because this has this shaft has to run on some kind of a bearing, right? If not, it would create too much friction and it'd be a nightmare. That's your bearing there, right? Yeah, with the needles or the rollers or whatever on them. Some have balls, and anyway. And there's an internal bearing there, you see, inside there, and that one goes on the outside. Now, that may need replacing. You don't know, right? 75-year-old car. But when we started taking it out, we realized that the nuts, that together, the two nuts, right, were slack. So we thought, that's weird, because you have this, you have to remove them with this, which is a specific thing for those nuts, right? Now, so we realized that there's a flat washer missing there. And so we put it back together quickly, more or less as we remembered. We went to the book, and the book tells you there exactly how it goes, right? Somewhere. There, you see? So we keep checking that. And that washer, flat washer, is missing. And that washer makes it so that the nut doesn't loosen up. And the nuts were loose, right? So that's why we thought, hey, something wrong here. And you can't expect a war vehicle, which is 75 years old, not to have it tampered around with. So you think, okay. So next time, today, when I started stripping that, I put it in the right order, you see? As it came out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that order. And this is how it came out, right? So you see the nut has the comfort, it has these slants there, and it's flat on the other side, which means it's right. Yeah, that has a keyway, so it goes into a key. Yeah, and there you see that key. That makes it so that everything is locked into place. Third nut, and suddenly it was like Wait a minute. That came out like that. But if you see it, it should be like that. I'm gonna leave it as it is. But that's somebody messed it up when they put it back on. They didn't check this and put it wrong. That's our washer that we're missing on that side.
Officers are also repeating a message not to drive.
And basically now I'm changing the things. Anyway, I didn't want this to be that long, but have a good weekend and see you when I see you. Bye, mates.
Police declared 2 major incidents in Hampshire and in Somerset as blizzards brought roads to a standstill.
Yes.
The Transport Secretary says the Prime Minister will give a very clear picture of how she sees the UK's future relations.